monster does not flinch. It has already been forged in flame, betrayed at every turn, torn apart and reassembled from the ashes. It stands apart while you flail in the ruin you invited. I do not ache. Pain belongs to those who still believe in light, who cling to mercy, to foolish hope, to soft words and softer hands. Those comforts meant something once. Now they are relics I shed like a carcass. Once I recoiled at treachery. Once a cut made me stagger. Now I only observe. I watch as your world collapses, as your careful lies suffocate you, and I feel none of the tremor you expect to see. Instead there is a cold, precise pleasure in knowing I have outgrown frailty. A monster does not weep. A monster does not beg forgiveness, or bend beneath sorrow's yoke. The blaze that consumed me has frozen into a blade of ice in my chest. This heart no longer beats for tenderness or pity. It beats for survival, for presence, for the unadorned fact of being. I exist beyond the cheap currency of sentiment. I exist to wait, to see, to be the immovable, witness to consequences. I once clung to justice like a child to a lantern, thinking endurance would earn me sanctuary. I was naive. There is no ledger that balances pain with reward. There is only the stark arithmetic of truth. Some are broken, some are remade. I was remade. Look into my eyes if you dare. Search for the man who hoped and trusted. He is gone, eaten by the dark that now runs through me. You will find only resolve, a vacancy where mercy used to sit. Pain has become anecdote, a faint echo in the corridors of memory. And yet I watch you drown in it. I trace the way you sink, and I do not move. Why would I? You did not reach. When I was gasping, you turned your face and laughed while I sank. Now watch what comes when there is nothing left to save you. They whisper about him in fearful tones. Why does everyone recoil? Because he returned from the pit unshackled. How did he survive? He did more than survive. He was refined. Fire burned his weaknesses away and left something that does not bend. He lost names, places, favors, the comforting tapestry of belonging. That loss is his advantage. Stripped of anchors, he floats free. No chains, no obligations, no debts to pity. So they fear him. Their fear curdled into resentment because they cannot influence him anymore. He needs nothing from them. They cannot wound what is already hollowed out and steeled. Their weapons glance off a shape that does not bleed for their approval. They hope to break him as they have broken others, but he did not break. He is beyond breaking. He is untouchable, an absence of weakness they cannot comprehend. And because they cannot touch him, because he stands unbent and unashamed, their fear turns to hatred. A last, impotent lash at a figure who no longer answers to their rules. What if they try to stop you? They already tried. Now they live with the fallout. I don't give a damn if they despise me. I don't mind if they spit my name like acid, if they scowl when I enter, if they hiss behind closed doors. Like wounded snakes, let them. Let their bitterness drown them. Let their resentment rot from the inside. It changes nothing. It doesn't fracture me. Hatred is static. I've learned to move. Through it unbothered I've been. Scorched before. I've felt betrayals. Blaze scorch my skin and reduce everything I was to embers. I watched hands I trusted shove me under. Voices I loved twist my name into filth. They tried to bury me beneath their lies, their malice, their envy. They wanted my light extinguished, my spirit diminished, my voice reduced to a plea for mercy, but I refused. I rose. I was never made to be adored or softened for their comfort. I was not fashioned to shrink, so others might feel grand. I was forged to occupy space, to demand notice, to be inescapable. If that breeds their hatred, fine. Hatred holds no power against someone who knows himself. I am anchored in certainty. I have no hunger for their stamps of approval, no thirst for their shallow praise. I will not hang from the strings of their judgments. Call me ruthless, arrogant, cold, their labels are my armor. I turn their jabs into edges. I keep their words close not as wounds, but as proof that I refuse to belong to them. Refuse to be softened into something small. They wanted my collapse. Instead they'll witness my ascent. They will watch me become what terrified them most. I've walked through darkness. I've stared down the abyss, and it failed to claim me. I've felt the chill of abandonment, the sting of exclusion, the weight of being cast aside, and still, a fire pulsed within, fighting the black. I did not kneel to beg for re-entry. From ruin I assembled myself. Calloused hands, iron will, unbreakable resolve. They hate me because they fear what cannot be tamed. They fear a person who does not flinch, who refuses their script, who rises regardless of their sabotage. Let them fear, let them hate. It alters nothing. I do not seek their embrace or a seat at their table. I will carve my own kingdom, chart my own road, claim my own fate. I will stand upon the summit and look down, not to gloat, not for revenge, but in quiet victory, because I made it, because I survived. because I rose on my own terms. I refused to be defined by their venom. Their hatred only proved what I already knew. I was built to stand alone. I learned to rely on myself when everyone else turned away. In a world that praises the loud and abandons the meek, I chose my allegiance to become relentless. If they despise me for it, let them. Their contempt is the echo of my ascent, proof that I rose beyond their reach. They are background noise in the theater of my life, mere spectators trying to shout over the thunder of my progress. They hope to see me fracture. Instead, they will witness my unbreakable form. They prayed for my surrender. They will choke on disappointment. I do not bow. I do not yield. I am not brittle glass. I am forged iron, tempered by every battle I've survived. Each scar, each betrayal, each wound is a jewel in the crown I wear. I am the storm that will not pass, the force that will not be caged, the nightmare that refuses to be exorcised. They may whisper for my fall, but I have already climbed too high for their pleas to reach me. Their murmurs are dust, their hatred a feeble attempt to douse a wildfire. I burn too bright, too fierce. Their attempts to silence me only feed the blaze. Let them huddle in their corners, sharpening knives and flinging rocks. It will not alter my course. I will move forward with head unbowed, steady and fearless. Their spite is my fuel, their envy the kindling. I am the blaze that consumes obstacles and leaves only memory. I didn't come to be liked or to blend into the wallpaper of their comfortable lives. I came to etch my name into the bones of this world, to be unforgettable. Long after their voices have vanished, I am undeniable. Long after their echoes die, I will still stand. I am brighter than day, hotter than hellfire. I am not made of the weak stuff they depend on. I was forged from something harder, sharper, something that refuses to kneel to the weight of circumstance. I walked through heat that would have liquefied another man's will, endured pressure that would shatter mountains, and I did not crack. I did not collapse. I emerged, hardened, larger. I am not soft, not fragile, not what you assume. My skin is not an entry point. My soul is not reachable by simple hands. It is fire and fury, a consuming force that obliterates and leaves no trace. I do not bleed frailty. I do not flinch from pain. When I study the scars carved into me, I read the map of every conflict. I survived in every victory I claimed, because I always rise. Even from the fall I return molten, stronger, fiercer, and the world learns. Too late that you cannot break what has already been reforged. Brighter, harder, hungrier than before. I am a phoenix that refuses to die. Every fall only sparks the next conflagration. I don't wait for rescue. I don't seek absolution. I burned away the need for pity, the craving for sympathy. I don't exist to be explained or forgiven. Call me dangerous. Call me reckless. Call me a monster you misunderstand. What that word means. A monster is one who cannot be caged, one who sees shackles and snaps them, who forges the black within into a blade. I don't crave love or acceptance. I only demand to keep burning. Once I was like them, soft, dim, fragile, looking for someone to lead the way. That moment was stolen. It could have swallowed me. It could have erased me. Instead, I chose fire. I let every betrayal, every cut, every insult feed the blaze. Pain sharpened me instead of shattering me. When fire feeds on fire, it becomes inexorable. It grows until nothing stands in its path. Nothing halts me now neither. Their doubt nor their fury. They imagine strength. They mistake noise for power. They have not felt true heat until they've stood inside my blaze. I want no gentle hands, no whispered comforts, no borrowed hope. I am the light at the end of the tunnel. I am the tunnel set ablaze. I burn the dark until only ash and smoke remain. Every step I take leaves a trail of flame. Every breath I draw is molten resolve. I will not slow. I will not be muted. If the world dares to rise against me, let it. I will reduce it to embers and raise something better from the ruins. I ask no one's blessing. I seek no one's permission. I take what I earn, seize what is owed to me, because I am strong enough to claim it. I am relentless. I am beyond reach. Let them gape in wonder. Let them tremble in dread. Let them puzzle over how I keep returning, how I keep ascending. The answer is plain. I will not be put out. I refuse to grant them the satisfaction of my end. I am unafraid. I am unbroken. I do not bend, do not snap, do not halt. If they wish to test me, bring it on. Bring everything you have. I will scorch their fears, their doubts, their arms and armor until nothing stands between me and what I am owed. I will incinerate their defenses and reveal what true strength actually is. Not hollow boasts, not trophies made of paper, not victories won by noise, but the power forged in surviving, flames and becoming fire itself. I will never cool. I will never dim. The blaze inside me is perpetual. It has become my heart, my voice, my stride, the unrelenting pull of my will. It refuses to falter when the storms arrive. I will take my place at their iron laugh. When night thickens, I will stand and blind it with my light. No force on earth or beyond will stop me, because I have already walked through the worst and lived. I am beyond mere strength and beyond mere endurance. I am inevitability, and the hour will come when they watched me at the center of everything, unbroken, relentless, untouchable. Finally understanding that they never stood a chance. I burn brighter than the sun and hotter than any hell they imagined. Let this fire consume every obstacle, strip away falsehoods, evaporate weakness and fear until only truth, only power, only proof remains. This is my nature. This is my mission. Fire is my evidence that defeat is impossible for me. I will not cease to burn. I will not cease to rise. Let the flames fall. Let the heat climb. Let the world turn to ash. If that is what must be, I am fire, and I will burn forever. I have listened to the cries of the desperate and the pleas of the broken, and they reach no part of me meant to soften. I have nothing left to hand out. No comfort, no pardon, no mercy. A monster does not weep. A monster does not bend. A monster is not bowed by regret. I do not look backward. I do not waste breath on could have beens or might have beens. The past is interred beneath my remaking. They claim monsters grow from cruelty, from loss, from pain. Maybe they are right. Yet they cannot see that a monster is not a casualty to be pitted. A monster is an instrument freed from moral shackles, unencumbered by conscience. I do not grieve what was stolen. I do not long for the days before the fire made me steal. Those days are dust. I do not mourn. I watch you now trembling, fraying, undone by the burden you birthed, and still you clutch at hope. Still you believe there is light beyond this hollow. How naive. Hope is a toxin that keeps you weak and anchor, that drowns you in disappointment. I have severed that chain. I have excised that softness. I stand where you cannot stand, beyond sorrow, beyond pain, beyond the last traces of what made me human. Do not doubt that I understand suffering. I have lived it deeper than you can imagine. I walked inside the inferno and felt its lessons carve me. Blades dug deep and hollowed me out. Watched the things I cherished crumble to smoke. Yet I didn't shatter. I refused to bow beneath the weight of hurt. I did not plead for mercy or plead for an end. No, I was remade. Pain peeled away the excess, the brittle parts, the soft illusions. From that crucible I rose different, cleaner, harder, and now I stand. While you falter, while you tumble, and claw at ghosts, reaching for anchors that vanished long ago. There is nothing left to grasp, just like there was nothing left for me once. A monster offers no comfort. A monster does not stoop to rescue those who still sob for salvation. I will not reach out. I will not carve you a path away from the edge. I only watch as you thrash, as your cries fill empty air, as you finally learn the brutal truth. The world is indifferent, life is ruthless, and no savior will arrive, just as no one arrived for me.